All right, looks like we are live. Welcome everyone to Sweetcast. I really feel like this is the best way for me to do streams from now on. I'm just going to start it. When I start it, I invited some guests in, and when they come in, they come in. Again, I know I explain this every time, the past 3 times, but it's just the ultimate format for streams. So that's what we're going to do. Welcome everyone. Currently, we have no people watching. I expect people to start showing up. But something interesting is Donald DeLay said today on Twitter that he went and checked and he verified that he was not subscribed to Sweetcast anymore. And he had subscribed. He had subscribed a long time ago, but YouTube unsubscribed him. So he was seeing videos because they were related to content that he wanted to see. But what he wasn't seeing were any of my live stream notifications, which, that's a deal. I don't want to say it's a huge deal. I'm glad he checked it. So make sure you're subscribed, especially if you think you're subscribed. Check that out. Okay, now there we go. Now 15 people watching. I think it's a little delayed on my end, but welcome everybody. Welcome. We're gonna look at some crowdfunding campaigns today, and I don't know, have some commentary. I'm interested to hear what you all have to say about it as well. And I don't know, I think it should be fun. There's actually a lot of interesting stuff happening right now. Delta Quadrant says, I'm watching, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. We've got Ken Jack Ben, pumpkins for everyone. Thank you. We got Scott McCullough here. Hello. Hosu, welcome. Ted Lehman is here as well. Hello. R is here. Let's see. Studio 7.62. 7.62. What is that? Is that a round size 7.62? Is that like correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like an AK-47 round or something like it. But you could feel free to correct me. We are going to look at some crowdfunding campaigns. One of those crowdfunding campaigns is going to be by this man right here. Wes, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. I hope it's okay. I'm just flinging you right in. I just started the stream.
No problem at all. I've been bouncing around from one place to another all evening. So
it's one of those days, huh?
Yeah.
Just launched today, but what time is it for you over there?
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I launched at 12 o'clock midday. Yeah, it's been a bit mad.
Are you going to get any sleep tonight?
I suppose it will technically be tonight.
That's true.
I'm on here with you. Kindly, you invited me on. Thank you very much. I'm on here till 4, and then I'm on with the amazing Michael Bancroft.
Great, excellent.
At 4, and I think he does an hour or so, and then I can go for a sleep.
Great. Well, we won't. I realize that your schedule's busy, so no restrictions here. You can pop out whenever you need to.
Thank you.
Donald DeLay is reminding us here. I just talked about him earlier. He says, "Yeah, I'd see a vid every day or so of yours in my homepage or my suggestions, and it didn't occur to me I wasn't seeing them in my sub tab." Yeah, he was unsubscribed by YouTube. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, bizarre.
So yeah, do check that out. Looks like we got another guest here. This is Scott. Scott McCullough, I'm assuming.
Yeah, hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, Scott?
Hey, Scott.
Hey, nice to meet you, Russ.
Yeah, you too.
And Scott, you got a new campaign up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Sidekick Island. We're kind of ending our first week. Keeping it going.
Very cool. Well, and I am inviting Charlie as well, but I know we had a talk too. He's like, these streams take a lot of time. I was like, I know. You can draw. You don't have to come on to every stream. Don't feel obligated. So, but I invited him because why not? But he may or may not pop in, and that's cool. So we're gonna look at some crowdfunding campaigns. Let me share the screen, and I think if we get to sort of the big news here, of course there's Fatal, but I want to get to Berserker because this is on Kickstarter. This is Keanu Reeves, and you can. The one thing I like about Kickstarter is live. You can see the numbers moving, and that's kind of fun to see.
That's going some, isn't it? Look at that.
Oh, day one. This could very well be $1 million campaign.
Yeah.
And there's still hours to go before it's officially the first 24 hours, but I think it's possible that this could hit $1 million. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just wild. This is with Boom Studios. What do you guys think? What's the difference between this kind of celebrity book versus other celebrity books? What's the magic mix that made this one do so well?
Keanu.
What do they say? You're a beautiful person or something like that. You see him speaking at the game convention or whatever they call it. Yeah,
it's anything with Keanu Reeves in it. It's like anything that you add chocolate or bacon to is better, and it's like that with Keanu Reeves. Anything you add Keanu Reeves to, it's automatically better.
Well, I mean, just think of the reach he has, and I have no idea how he's promoting this or how he's involved. I assume it's kind of along the lines of, I don't know, maybe is he writing it?
Well, it says it's by him. So the story, I don't know that he wrote the comic script or not, but
we all know, in comics, it's not about who you are in comics, it's about your following. That's the reason why Anna on her Vampira cover, did 30K worth of business, whereas big time artists who are subjectively better than her can't do 5,000 on their covers.
Yeah.
So, this guy, he's, Keanu's about as famous as they come. And if he's actually pushing it versus maybe just a tweet or two, that's huge.
Yeah. So, something that's been sort of reinforced for me too over the past couple of weeks is with crowdfunding, it's kind of like the parable from the Bible. I'm not trying to get all religious here, but there's the 10 virgins and they have the lamps with the oil. And at the end, the bridegroom is coming and they have to give their oil, or either, they need to have that oil stored up, and they couldn't give it to somebody else. I always thought that was weird. Like, isn't that rude? You should, share your oil. But in crowdfunding, it really kind of reinforces, I think, that if you have an audience built up, it's going to work for you. You can gain some advantage by other people's audiences, but the most boost that you're going to get is from your own audience and work that you put in ahead of time.
Well, maybe Ron Garney has just got the huge audience that we didn't realize that he could tap into.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Boom Studios must have a decent sized mailing list. I'm sure people know about them. People know Keanu Reeves. I don't know if he tweeted. I don't even know if he's on Twitter, but he could have sent something out. People would know about it. And then you immediately have every single news organization is going to be writing articles.
I was about to say, is there an article in Variety about it or something like that?
Yeah, just think of the media attention alone. Zach didn't get it with Sly Stallone, but Zach still got a great boost, for Expendables. Just imagine Keanu Reeves, who is a non-canceled, and none of these other guys are canceled. They're going to get the full weight of the positive media.
Yeah,
definitely,
absolutely. So I don't know. I'm always interested to see what's going on, even though I don't know. I'd have to look at what the story is. I don't even know. I haven't backed it. I'm not even sure if I want to, but it is cool just to see big campaigns. And here's the thing is, I made a video about this a little bit earlier. There's so many people that are very upset that a big named celebrity is coming to Kickstarter to do a comic book because it should be reserved for smaller creators or something like that.
No, really?
Yeah, it's crazy to me. But the thing is,
ridiculous.
In comics, especially crowdfunding, it seems like the numbers just keep going up. So even though, I don't know, like for me, Fatal has been it's an increase for sure over books I've done in the past, but it's still not anywhere near, I don't know what the top 25 is, but it's not going to be anywhere. You know what I mean? You have to get such high numbers to get there now because so many books are just doing very, very well. I think the average and the median numbers for crowdfunding comics is just rising. So I think that's good news, really.
Yeah. I don't you have to be in the top 200,000, get 200,000 or more to be in the top 25 now?
Probably. I'd have to check. I know it used to be 100,000, but there's so many campaigns that have at least 100,000 now that I think you're right. I think you'd have to do much better than that to hit it. So let's see. I looked through just Indiegogo. I was curious at what is on the trending list, just to compare. So a few interesting things. Jason Brubaker has launched his next book. I've had Jason Brubaker on here a few times. I've been on his channel before, and a really nice dude. And he's doing the 2 campaigns simultaneously, one on Kickstarter and one on Indiegogo.
Wow.
Again, that'll be kind of interesting to watch. I'm not necessarily a fan, but I guess I get why that he's just done so many Kickstarters in the past that a lot of his audience are just used to it. So that's up. I think yesterday was day 1, I think.
Cool.
Hey, let me ask you, Clint, what do you think about the barrier to entry for consumers who are unfamiliar with crowdfunding versus just ordering a comic, from a retailer, even online? Do you think that that's something that holds people back? Like, I'm not, let me get this straight. I give you my money today and I maybe get something in a year, or because, we always kind of push our dates out into the future, so that we can beat those dates. So how much do you think that holds people back from actually supporting some of these campaigns?
I think it's a big hurdle actually for new people. It's a big deal once somebody has backed their first campaign. I don't know what the stats are, but I would imagine you're much more likely to back future campaigns just because you've done it once. Maybe you've had a good experience. Hopefully you've had a good experience. You got your book. But having said that, ordering books from a comic shop can be a pain in the neck if you're new to it. Even if you're not new. I've tried to get a freaking pull list. I had to try 4 times to get them to put a book on my pull list. It was the craziest thing.
I think it's more of a barrier to let's put the inverted commas normies. If you're into comics or if you're into any kind of pop culture, then something like this is going to feel more natural. I think something that crowdfunding has on its side is that connection with the reader. It's the connection with the audience, because you do feel by being in the crowdfunder, especially if the crowdfunder's done right, that you're part of it in the same way that it used to be like that back in the day, with Marvel, Bronze Age comics, Stan Lee, all that kind of stuff. You felt like you were part of a family. You felt like you were part of the inner sanctum, the way that you were spoken to via the editorial staff.
Yeah,
and it's getting that connection back through. I think crowdfunding does that to an extent.
Russ, I think you have a good point. I think if a campaign is well done, you feel like, and you have the opportunity to be part of the team. It's like, okay, I put my money down. I can comment now. I'll make a comment, and I'll get direct feedback from the campaign, people who run the campaign. I'm part of the team. For me, I think that's one piece of it. And the second piece, specifically relating to Comicsgate, and this is what really, because the first crowdfunder I ever did was a Comicsgate book. And the reason I pulled the trigger was because I felt like I knew the folks on YouTube. I had that connection with the CG community. And that's the reason why I went ahead and, back the book, because I felt like, all right, I've seen this guy on a bunch of videos, and I'm confident that, that this guy is a stand-up guy, and it may take some time, and I understand that, but ultimately I can put my trust, not because I'm necessarily part of the team as far as what we just talked about, but because I see this guy on YouTube and I know where to hunt him down if he steals my damn money.
Yeah, there is that aspect to it, of course. Yeah. But also being able to reach out and interact to a degree. I mean, YouTube is great for that. is see, because you can see when people are being honest, because you can actually see them on film. And it helps build a confidence in a creator that you don't necessarily get when they're behind a corporate screen.
So I see Publish and Pete in the chat, and I want to bring a point up. So I drove across Texas today, and I'm in Dallas, and so I was able to catch up on EVS's live streams that I missed this week, and and the one where he talks about his business stuff, and he starts talking about the subscription thing, Clint, where he referenced you a bunch of times. Pete came on there at the end and made the point that it's not just the product, it's the personality behind the product. Just what you were saying, right? And that people are back EVS because we trust him as a person, because we like his personality, because he is a character, right? And so that's one of the kind of things that if you remove him from that equation, then it brings a question to whether a product could succeed if it's say a CyberFrog branded product, but it doesn't have EVS art on it. And so I thought that was a really good point to what Pete brought up. And I think that's one of the real main successes behind CG is because our use of YouTube, and we're able to connect with the folks out there who are buying our books. They have it's like we get to know Clint, we get to know you and your story through these live streams. We see what you're interested in by the videos you post. And because of that, communicative relationship you have with your fan base, people are willing to buy Fatal day one. And I think that's true throughout CG. And when people turn away, when the audience turns away from a creator, like kind of what maybe you saw with Micah Miller, or what you saw with Doug Knable, or what you saw with War Campaign recently, you start to see a much softer sales numbers, because it's not because, say Vestige 2 is any less of a book than Vestige 1. I mean, those are both probably going to be great books. But because of the support, the personal connection is betrayed, maybe, in the viewpoint of the audience, then they're just not going to support that book. Not because, Doug Knaple's art or writing is going to be any different. It's going to be the same quality book. It's just because of what he's doing in the real world that affects our purchasing.
There's so I want to hit on 2 points there. Because I think you're making some really good points. First, I jumped in late on that live stream with Ethan, or just listening to the live stream, but I did catch when Peter was on. So I heard him just kind of say, who knows, Clint could start a subscription service. And I'm like, why on earth would he say that? I'm not going to start a subscription service. So I
challenge, Clint.
Yeah, I got to go back and watch what he said earlier, because I was like, what? I don't understand how that came. So I got to watch that. For the record, I've absolutely no plans on starting a subscription service. I'm interested to see if someone does it, but that someone is not going to be me. Very unlikely to be me. Second point is, I was just having this conversation with my wife earlier today, I think it was, on that you're kind of doing. It's almost like a 3-step sales system, in order to get someone that is genuinely interested in your book, especially if you're a new creator. Because first you're getting them interested in you, and a lot of that is through YouTube. It's through, if you can make Twitter work for you and you're good at that, but it's getting people to trust you enough to say, oh, I like this guy enough to back his book. Once they do that, then you're going to have some subsection of those people that will read your book and genuinely like it, because it's the kind of story, that they like. What are the odds that they enjoy your opinions on YouTube, they enjoy your personality, and they also happen to really enjoy your writing style, your storytelling? You know what I mean? Like there's going to be some section of people that backed the book that are probably like, that story's not for me, but I still like the creator. You know what I mean? So, but I think it is going to it'll take time, especially for guys like me, like newer creators, to really flesh out their stories. And then eventually, I would imagine sort of the last phases, you're going to have people that might not care about you at all or make, not like your opinion at all, but because your stories have been out there so much, they might actually really like your storytelling. I'm not sure when that happens, but I've got to think that bigger creators like Doug TenNapel, like Ethan Van Sciver, and others have that kind of audience that are not really watching YouTube videos, but they know them from their work, and that's a pretty cool place to be, really.
Yeah.
So I've got, this is the open page here. I want to make sure we get to this, but this is the trending list. So first, Jason Brubaker. Then we have Only Death Can Save Us, which I do have pulled up here. So you're number 2 on trending. This is Russ's book, and
Nice.
just launched today. Pretty good start. Not too many hours into the campaign, but why don't you tell us a little bit about the book?
Right. The book is it's a love letter to comics that I love. If I read the pitch, Only Death Can Save Us is a Bronze Age inspired cosmic fantasy romp. It's bringing together action and pathos as the ancient elemental known as Death leaps from his ethereal retirement to help a young soul protect her loved ones, her world, and even existence itself. It's got a cosmic backdrop. It's all ages. So the idea being that you could drop this book anywhere and it wouldn't matter who picked it up. It's romance, not sex. It's action, not violence. It's the hero's journey, not ideology. It's all the things. Hopefully, all the things that I loved as a kid in comic books. But it's written for everybody. It's an action, cosmic romp for fun and adventure. Hopefully it's the first of several books, because I'd really like to do a series, but you can read this one on its own. It's 80 pages, it's 60 pages of story. If the stretch goals work, then another 5-page backup strip is always a possibility. But there's extras of postcards and possibly a pin badge, maybe a Spot UV on the front cover. And like I say, if it gets far enough, then even maybe a backup strip. But I've also got some guest artists to do some A4 prints as one of the some of the tiers. So I've got Rob Willis, who is producing one for me right now.
Wow!
But also Amrit Birdie, Mike Emirates, and sorry, it's 2:00 in the morning. Ronzo Rodriguez.
There you go. Yeah.
And they've done stunning work, beautiful work, and what they're going to be coloured up in the book as part of the gallery, but they'll be provided just as black and white prints to show off just how beautiful that ink work is. I have a poster in there as well. There will be tiers where you can get original page art. I've got 11 splash pages throughout the book. There's my poster, and like I say, there's the start of the stretch goals there. And we've got a guy called Rick Hoskin, who's worked for some of the larger publishers that you may know of. There are other publishers, and he's doing the dialogue for me over my script. So it's going to get really polished from that perspective. And I've got an editor, Tim Quinn, who's ex-Marvel, Marvel, and he's been around the block. So he knows exactly what he's doing. And hopefully between us, we can make this a polished item.
This is an incredibly professional book. I love that you're doing an all ages story. And I like to remind people, all ages, I love that term because you can be a grown adult and enjoy it. Like, to me, this just looks like classic comics fun. Sometimes I like to go back and read, Silver Age kinds of comics, and it's just fun because there's something I don't know, generally wholesome about them. I don't know. I like that kind of thing. Like you say, it's just action, fun, and so I really like that a lot. I'm going to post a link in the description here. And this is one I strongly suggest you check out. Looks like a really, really nice project. And I think this one for sure is one that I will be backing because
thank you.
I want to get more books that I can have my kids read too.
Good.
So I dig that. Cool. So we'll check back in with this one too as we go, and hopefully things will get moving. Couple others I wanted to see. Let's see. Well, we got to look at Sidekick Island too. That's Scott's campaign, and yeah, it's too bad. My streaming schedule has been insane. It's the first time I had you on. I kind of feel bad. But you can see that Fatal's pushed way down the list here on the trending, and I think there's so many books coming out. So I'm gonna look up Sidekick Island here.
Hopefully it comes up.
That would be disappointing. Yeah.
Sidekick is one word. Is that?
Yeah.
Am I really? It's just pulling up the same list, really? There it is.
There it is.
Okay, Sidekick Island. Scott, why don't you tell us about this? I'll scroll through it a bit.
Yeah, so Sidekick Island is a kind of a Bronze Age to modern classic or a satire of classic superhero sidekicks. Teen Titans. Everything from those kind of the good ones to the snowflakes and the safe spaces that we get from modern day Marvel and things like that. We've got a lot of send up characters in here. Like we got Big Fist Becky as our kind of Miss Marvel analog, except for her fists, they get big, but unfortunately she's not very good at controlling how to make them, small again. So she ends up dragging a big fist around sometimes. She's young, they don't have, great control of their powers. Yeah. But, these 44 sidekicks are thrust into this tropical island, which is essentially a mixture between Hunger Games and Battle Royale.
Is it a fight to the death?
So they have to fight to the death, and only one can survive. So superb. It's like I said, it is a kind of a violent, satire of Teen Titans and all that kind of great stuff. Hopefully it gets the Vaughn seal of approval with the gratuitous violence.
Yeah.
Gore,
the guy's
gore and horror.
That's what I like right there.
It's got some lovely art on it.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. So the artist is Joe Ojeda. He did some Superman stuff for DC, and the colorist is Milan Parvovich. I always fuck up his. I'm sorry, Glenn. I always screw up his name. So
thanks.
I was telling everybody.
Yeah, I was telling everybody yesterday. I want to have a PG stream. I'm going to recommit to that. So I do appreciate that, Scott. Thank you.
I apologize. I always like to push it once, and then go PG, for the rest of the way. But anyway, yeah. So this. It's just a real fun book, and we wanted to put together a real slick, professional, and it's a departure for me as a writer. Both Peregrine and Door Kickers had pretty heavy themes and heavy kind of action, and I want to kind of do something that's action, but it's more fun, and with its tongue thoroughly in its cheek, and be able to kind of. This is not a conservative political comic where we're making fun of left-wing, woke heroes. There's some of that in here, but we're making fun of the kind of the 80s, and 90s testosterone pump, the kind of the, toxic masculinity, patriarchy kind of guys too. So we're equal opportunity skewers when it comes to the kind of jokes we throw in there.
Very cool. Love it. Yeah, I posted the link in the chat there. So moderators, both of these two campaigns are ones that we're for sure looking at today to promote. We're looking at other campaigns too, just to see, because a lot has come out. It's September 1st, and it is kind of like we're right in the thick of crowdfunding season. So it is kind of interesting to see what's going on, and it is driving a lot of traffic to crowdfunding. I want to kind of steer the conversation a little bit to that of taking risks. And Scott, you kind of touched on it a little bit with creatively, like you're trying something new that you haven't written before. It's a different kind of vibe. That is kind of a risk. You know what I mean? Like I've thought about it too with, I've got a horror that I'm going to do, and people aren't used to me doing horror. You know what I mean? That's a change in pace.
Yeah. Clint Stoker's Dracula, right?
That's right. Yeah. I'm going to make, my goal is just to make that thing the creepiest book that anyone's ever read, you know? And I think it's going to be really fun to just totally change pace. I've done a little, like with prose, I've done some creepy stuff, but like never in comics. I think for a lot of people, it's going to be hopefully very different. That's the goal. But crowdfunding enables you to do something different and sort of take that risk. I don't know. What do you guys think? You cannot be typecast, right? Because of crowdfunding, you're kind of testing it out. You're allowing the audience to decide if they want to buy it or not.
Well, I'd never written at all. So this is the first book that I've ever written that has come to fruition.
Great point. Your first ever written book. That's true too. It minimizes the risk of obviously you've done quite a bit of art before. Art looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah, putting yourself out there, writing a book for the first time, doing a comic for the first time. I've been there too. What do you think, Vaughn? You take risks.
I do every
with
damn
cat's
day.
tails.
Yes, I do.
Singing into cat's tails.
Yeah, every day. Gotta take the risk, sing, and see what happens. See if he claws or just runs for it. But I'm taking, and even with my next project after Monster MD, a lot of people might want another Monster MD, or they might expect more of a indie type horror thing, and instead I might be delving into superheroes, like classic ones that aren't even that popular. That is a risk. When it comes to risks, you can only weigh things in terms of whether it's worth it or not. I mean, that's just like in anything in life. And when it comes to doing a book, what's cool about comics is that everybody is used to different artists and writers they follow and that they enjoy doing different crazy things. Like, oh, this is when Grant Morrison did this, or this is when he did, like I think it's not as big of a shock for people. Like if you're a filmmaker and you only make romantic comedies, people do raise an eyebrow when you suddenly have a horror movie. But look at how it worked out for Peele. Like he did Key and Peele. He was known for just being goofy as hell, doing a good comedy. He could have, and they even made a comedy movie, right, called Keanu with the little kitten. And then he's like, bam, horror movies, and you did not see it coming. And look how well it worked out. Risks can pay off big if you know what you're doing and if you weigh it out properly. Like with me, I create in a way to where I'm not worried about risks or thinking about them by the time we launch our campaign. Like I just know it's badass, So
yeah,
supreme confidence.
You gotta. I think it helps sell books.
Pays off. Yeah, it is good. Yeah, I was thinking like
it's me, mate. I bought one.
Yeah,
there we go. Thanks.
It works. It works. Yeah, totally right. And that's the cool thing about comics is it's, relatively speaking, it's kind of cheap to do. Like I was watching this like how to for independent filmmakers. I forget who it was. He was on YouTube. He's a independent filmmaker, he's successful. And he was explaining the whole process of basically how he got to the point of making independent films, so that he could continue making more movies. And the amount of money that it takes to do it is just insane. I don't understand that. Well, I mean, I do understand that, but it's just in another world. But in comics, you don't need that much money in order to make it happen, and to really do some pretty amazing things.
Well, so like one of the, I've lived a life of many risks, right? When you go in a gunfight, how do you mitigate the risk of getting shot? You put a bulletproof vest on, right? So as creators, we have to take risks because, like Vaughn said, I mean, with the risk comes the reward, right? That's the potential. If you take no risks, then you can just get the, $5.50 an hour at the fucking burger time. Sorry, when I did it again. But I'm very passionate about this, of course. But the point is that we have to figure out where our risk is, that suits us personally, right? And then how do we how do we mitigate that risk? So for instance, right, door kickers for me, it's a risk for me to, bring out my first book, but I mitigate it by, I'm writing what I know. I'm doing something that I've been involved with door kickers, going back to 2014. So I didn't feel like it was a huge risk. I had some pre-existing material that I was able to bring in as a free giveaway to anybody who signed up for the mailing list, things like this, right? So this was stuff that helped me mitigate the risk of launching my first crowdfunder. But then on the other side of it, Peregrine, which was completely out of the wheelhouse of what I had just had with door kickers, that's a risk, right? Doing that superhero thing. Mm-hmm. But the way I mitigated that was, I had an awesome team with Graded 0.5, and they had built-in fans. And, they weren't just kind of like, tepidly involved. They were fully involved, and every day they were talking about Peregrine on their channel, and Peregrine has been an amazing success. Sidekick Island, probably, this is one of the ones where I probably should have done more to mitigate, because this is still kind of outside of my comfort zone, both thematically but also topically, and it's. I've done better in my first weeks before and the previous things. And so I have to look at that risk and figure out going forward, how do I, offset the risk of failure with something like this? Because just because we succeed in one campaign doesn't mean we're going to succeed in all our campaigns. So you just have to, he's such a grifter, Clint.
I wouldn't have highlighted it, but it is a super chat. So
you live or die as a creator on the basis of your best work.
Yeah.
So what did you do last? Was it any good? Well, that's what takes you into the next one. So so as far as just like to say, I've bought books from all three of you now. But it's a lot of the time it's not just mitigation; it's courage.
Yeah.
I've been around the block. Okay. I'm a bit older than you guys. I've been around the block. I've done all kinds of jobs. I've been an art director and a programmer and run my own business and all kinds of things. Pressing that button today to set the campaign going was one of the most nerve-wracking things I've ever done. It was, it's like, oh my God, I had to focus myself and say, no, back to business. This is business. Do it. And it was really nerve-wracking because you're putting yourself out there, and that's the difference. It's the difference between people who are prepared to do something about it and those that aren't.
Well, absolutely. That's it. I think that if you don't feel personally invested though in these campaigns, then ultimately you shouldn't be doing them.
No, very much so. Yeah.
I don't know that this is my third one now, and I think this one at first I was thinking, no, I'm getting used to this, but it was later day 1 and day 2. I think I had a nervous breakdown, and I went to Instacare. I thought something was wrong. I think it was the lack of sleep mixed with the. I don't know, but they're like,
you were streaming a lot, Clint.
I was streaming too much. But I'm fine. Everything's fine.
We
I was
told
just
you not to overdo it, Clint.
I warned you. It was hard not to. You're like, I gotta do my best, But it's all good. But yeah, I was just still someday. I think
Clint's like Clint's like I stream for 6 hours, and Raging Golden Eagles like hold my beer, Some of those. How many 24-hour streams have you done?
He's a monster badass like that.
I couldn't do it. They would get so boring. Let me address this real quick because it is a super chat. Alien Xenomorph for $2. Thank you very much. Appreciate the super chat. Says Micah Curtis calls your channel Griftercast. I don't really know what to say about that. I don't really know Micah Curtis. I know he doesn't really know me, and so I don't know. I could only speculate why he would say that. So, but whatever. I don't know what makes me a grifter or not somebody else a grifter doing the same stuff. So
I think it's become like a given. Just a given. If you're on the internet now, at some point, and you make any money, people are going to someone is going to call you a grifter.
Yeah.
I thought I was safe with just good old fashioned bigot and Nazi, but it's evolved into like incel, grifter.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the irony is that you know, I think for the most part, everybody here, you know, we deliver what we sell, so that's kind of like the opposite of grift, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I think isn't a grift a scam? Or do I have
that's exactly
that
right.
correct?
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like
oil or
I deliver my books when I say I'm going to deliver them. There's no grift. You're getting exactly what I promise you. So, but I will say I'm just
Gotten 2 of your books.
flat out. I do know that in comics there's just a lot of clawing to get ahead, and that jealousy can be a thing. So take that with what you will. I have no desire to get in any internet fights at the level of comic book hut or anything like that. But good luck. Good luck to him. I guess.
You know, a comics book home is a hut.
Yeah. Sorry, was someone going to say something too? I don't want you to cut you
I was
off.
just I was going to say something. I totally lost it when you mentioned comic book hut because I miss him so much. Like I miss that guy.
Yeah,
I need to get him to make more videos on me. It was fun. So
pretty entertaining.
Well, it's just hard, man. We're doing something. Making a comic is hard, and you can have the best art and think you have everything perfect, and it might not resonate with the audience. You might not make that money you hoped for, and people can get angry about it. It happens all the time. I get it. You know, it would freak me out to do this well on Monster MD. Maybe my next project won't even do as well, and I just have to be cool with that. What I do is not give a damn. If my heart is in that project and I believe in it, that's enough for me to just share that coolness with the world. If it doesn't make all the money, all right. Well, I'm not doing this just for the money, man. I'm doing this to tell great stories and entertain the hell out of you. So that's my. I think that attitude helps keep you from.
Yeah, it's about passion, isn't it? Passion in comics, passion in the medium. Something that's absolutely lacking in the mainstream is passion.
Well, yeah, and beyond that, and I think a lot of people bring passion to their projects. The problem is that if it's a substandard book or a substandard product or whatever, you know, like, so not like somebody's phoning it in, but it's just they're not ready for prime time, right? And I think you see that in a lot of crowdfunded books. Ultimately, people, even when you do find your audience, people may say, well, maybe not this one, right? You know, but if you make a quality book, you put the, you know, you put the backers' money on the page so they can see what they're getting. Ultimately, no matter how good or bad your marketing machine is, you're ultimately going to find your audience, you know, and you know, it may take time, you know. So the key risk is always, and it goes back to that risk, is that kind of funding piece, right? You know, do you do the flexible goal or do you do a fixed goal? And, you know, are you willing to take that financial risk to put yourself on the hook for that book, even if you don't make enough money to pay for itself, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's tough.
Yeah. And that's why you can't compare campaign to campaign. I know that we all do that a lot, but it really is very different depending on what your goals are. And I've said this before too, like with my first book, to me, I saw it as an internship. You know what I mean? Like I want to get this book published. I need the experience. I need hearing feedback from readers. I need like all of this stuff, let alone, you know, it's also just very fulfilling. And so I don't know, like to me, you just want to beat what you've done before, write better. That goes creatively too. Do better stories than you've ever done before. And that to me is where it's really at. So, $5 super chat here from the Anime Librarian. Thank you very much. Says free money, take it. No, really, I appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah. So we kind of got. I don't remember where we. Yeah. Oh, that was that all. Whatever. Yeah, it's all good. I don't really care. I'm kind of at this point. I know, wasn't that terrible? I was like, was that that kind of sprouted from the Micah Curtis thing? I don't care what people say about me. So there we go. I'm over it.
Hey, I just want to. Antoine Dennison, good dude, by the way, in the chat says he sees a number of well-executed books that are poorly promoted, specifically talking about some of the products he saw on Kickstarter. And so yeah, I agree. But the thing is that how many times do people find something, just kind of randomly, but because it looks cool, they get into it, but they have no idea who these people are, right? And and so it in a way, like, so let me just give you an example of a book that I was initially ready to back, but then I kind of looked into the team a little bit and I have questions, and I'm still not ready to not back it, but I was hesitant. So are you guys familiar with Rags?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with the book.
I remember when Rags hit, like a couple years back. Yeah,
I've seen the artwork out there, and it's been kind of interesting. But the first time I ever actually looked at the crowdfunding is this recent one that they had, where it's like 6 issues, and you can jump in and get all 6 issues. And I thought about it because I think the art is great, and I think the concept is funny as hell. I'm leery about buying anything with nudity in it, with my 2 daughters constantly going through my bedroom and things like this. So that being said, I was like, well, I keep hearing about Rags and seeing it pop up. So what do I know about this? And so I saw some controversy dating back for a couple of years and how they ran the original campaign. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe this is a good opportunity for me to not buy a nudie comic, and get myself into trouble, But the thing is, though, is that art is great, and even if it is a little inappropriate, it's something that caught my eye, and it's a good hook. Now what,
They offer non-nude versions, don't they, of Rags?
Oh, I think they do, but once again, I just kind of
they have an interesting model of like from a publishing standpoint. I think they're on to something. It's
with
not
the
going to work
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, with the Patreon, I don't think it's going to work for anything I'm doing. I've thought about it.
Yeah,
but they have basically 2 different versions, from my understanding, of every book. They have the Patreon version, which is nude. And then they have whatever Antarctic Press version,
Yeah, which is like a bikini or whatever, right?
Well, I don't understand why you would pay for a nude comic over a non-nude comic when there's porn on the internet.
That's the part I don't get.
I don't get it.
So for me, it's interest is not in the nudity piece. The interest is just like, why is she wearing a bunny outfit in the apocalypse with tactical gear? And what's why is
the story itself?
There is a hook with that book, even if it was completely non-nude, that attracted me to it. And I love the art. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the artist that they have on that book is fantastic.
Yeah,
and that grabbed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know hardly anything about the book, but I did look at, again, just the Patreon stuff, and I thought, how could I apply that?
Well,
I'm not
sure that I can.
Subscription
model, Clint.
I'm not sure. I'm not doing a subscription. If someone does, I would support it.
Sign up today.
Yeah, if you have enough fans and people that want what you make, want inside looks into your process on making your books, I mean, you could maybe do a Patreon. It depends, really. I thought about like what I would do if I would do a Patreon, but I don't really feel too like jazzed about the prospect of it. I'd rather just make cool comics.
It seems like something else to take an awful lot of effort to do.
It would
you can just sell a book.
Yeah,
it would take a surprising amount of commitment. I think the more that you look into it, the more I looked into it, and I have a Subscribestar, but it doesn't. Too. I had like 2 subscribers at different points in time, and it's not like, I don't know. It's just weird. You'd have to really commit to the model, I think, to drive people to it. But even then, there's something about paying every month for something that sits. I don't know, that it's not necessarily what I want to do. I'd rather say, hey, here's the book, you can buy it or not buy it, back it or not back it.
Even with the old school subscription services, you wrote that check one time and you got a year's worth of comics. That was the advantage of doing that. Now, what did that mean? That means you gave that company essentially an interest-free loan to be able to use that money throughout the year as they produce comics into the future. But the whole idea of almost like Netflix of comics, that's one of the reasons why I don't think anybody reads Comixology or any of that kind of stuff, because I mean, who wants to pay like that?
You'd have to really read. I don't know. Yeah, for me, I just like having the book and I can read it when I read it, when I get to it, or as fast or as slow as I want. I don't know. I like the idea of somebody doing a subscription service. Like Ethan was explaining, if they had it figured out and they were going to do like a yearly, like one crowdfunding campaign, and then you got books every month. I kind of like that idea from a reading standpoint. From a publishing standpoint, I certainly know I would not be able to do that. Just shipping alone would be insane. But but it's interesting though. If somebody gets it to work in a profitable way, a sustainable way, that's pretty cool. You'd have something there.
Well, so I as I was driving across the wonderful state of Texas, looking at the wasteland of oil industry around me. Because I'm going from El Paso to Dallas, which is not as nearly a pretty a drive as El Paso to San Antonio. Anyway, point is that I've started thinking about it, and so if you're doing campaigns anyway, right, like quarterly campaigns, and you have a consistent product, so instead of like me where I'm jumping all over the map with different types of projects, it seems like, if I did Door Kickers as a quarterly thing, that could literally be, and once you have a year of track record of doing that kind of timing, so every quarter you're doing fulfillment and all that kind of stuff, the subscription model could be like, hey, for a discounted price, buy the next 4 issues of Door Kickers, and so they just kind of get front loaded into your year. For the next 4 months of Door Kickers, or, if, Vaughn did Monster MD that way, or if you did, Fatal that way, or something like that. So the idea being, you can either do traditional month, book to book, or if you got a bunch of money after Christmas, you were able to, jump in and get a discounted rate for the whole year. I mean, so that's kind of what I thought might work.
Did you guys see with Berserker, you pay, what is it, $50 and you get 3 books?
Yeah, I just saw that as well.
It's kind of interesting.
Here. That is interesting. I noticed on they had 3 books in the picture. I didn't really read through it, but that is interesting. So it is technically a subscription for 3 books.
That's the power of Keanu Reeves, though.
3 books. I don't know how long these things are.
Yeah, they look big book. Like
12 epic chapter books. 384 pages total. That's a lot. That's a lot of book.
Wow.
And it total. That's 3 between the 3 of them. That's really impressive. Wow.
That's cool.
Dang. Well, and
126 pages each. Is my math?
It's probably something like that. Yeah. And so here's the thing too: is if you're selling to normies, so to speak, then that means that's kind of what they expect. I can see, but it's just such a big risk. I guess you'd have to really set your goal high for it to make sense. But even if their goal is $50,000, if they only made 50,000, I don't think they would be making money.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Are those trade paperbacks or are they hardcovers?
I don't know.
I mean, because you know the deal with hardcovers; those things are expensive as hell.
I'm afraid
and expensive to ship as well.
Oh yeah, right.
And wait,
even freight getting it to your house. Yeah,
I love the idea of 3 thick books telling just a big epic tale, and then giving people like a box to slip them into. Like that's just fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And it again, if you're pulling in normies, this is kind of what you expect. A graphic novel you want. It's not like 48, 52 pages. It's like thick, you know what I mean? 100 pages plus. So I like that a lot about this. I'm not there yet. Talk about taking a risk. Oh,
But dang.
people are backing it. They're doing it. So I was looking here at Prospectors a little bit. I just saw this on there. I think Matthew Fowler's in the chat as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw him.
There we are. Yeah, Retro Graphics Books. Did Kanan White do all the interior art for this too?
I believe it's a different artist who is very reminiscent of Mr. White. I could be wrong.
Okay, I know Kanan did a cover, but yeah, it looks really, really good. Very good.
It really
nice.
does.
And
I got to talk
Rob's
with Matt on the phone about this and kind of help him with his log lines and pitch and everything for this. And so I learned a lot of things, and I just thought, what a cool idea. Like just like fun, like Westerny adventure mixed with like supernatural badassery, chasing down demons. Like the cool, weird characters that all have different special abilities that have to kind of team up to make this stuff happen. It's fun, man. Yeah. It's got your gritty prospectory kind of greedy type sort, kind of flawed hero, and then you've got your sexy mystic chick, and then you've got your badass kind of like a la Short Round from Temple of Doom to Indy, Chinese demolition expert guy.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
It's cool, and he's a great writer too. I read a short story that he sent over. I've got another one of his books too, and he tells a good story. They're great. So I'm glad to see. I had no idea this launched, but congrats to Matthew Fowler. But Kanan did all the character designs. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, right.
Absolutely, right. I could see that. I saw a few things in here. There's a hardcover option. Here we go. This was it. The books are 128 pages and the shipping is $860 on delivery. I'm assuming that's domestic.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those, shipping is separate from the price you pay to Kickstarter.
On delivery. I wonder how they do that. So they've got to collect $860 when they're ready to deliver the books. That's wild. I'm not sure. That would make me so nervous, because then you've got basically another chance for people to change their mind and decide they don't want the book. I guess I don't know. I imagine they're making out like bandits, so maybe it won't matter. But that is interesting. That's a lot of pages. I think they went all in for it, but they also probably are getting great printing pricing because they have such a volume.
Yeah. I mean, the other piece of this is that it's Boom, right? I mean, it's not like they don't know how to do books.
Yeah, it's not like they know how to do books.
They can guide you through the whole thing and get you those good prices probably on the hardcovers and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
John, unless there are grifters, like Clint is.
Apparently,
I'm a grifter. We're all just grifting.
Yeah, that word is over. Like many words on the internet, gets overused. Just use it accurately, Anyway, John Penn says, Sweetcast, there are a ton of board game companies, zombie-sized, for example, that do the Kickstarter to drive retail sales. They don't care about the Kickstarter other than to promote retail sales. Absolutely. I totally second that. That's something I've seen, and I've done a card game before, and that was a big complaint people had, is that there were big game companies coming in and doing crowdfunding. I think a small contingent of people, but they were pretty vocal. But you're going to see even more and more of the same thing from indie creators. Why? I don't know. To me, just like we were talking about at the beginning of the stream, the barrier to entry for new people in crowdfunding can be tough, because if you've never backed a crowdfunding campaign, you don't know maybe how it works. You're afraid that it could be a scam. The idea of backing something and waiting a year or more perhaps to get a book, that can all be that's all barrier to entry. So to me, if there are bigger companies, bigger names bringing people in to get that first crowdfunding campaign under their belt, they're more likely to back more. So I actually think it's a super
make
positive.
it a trusted marketplace.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, I'm gonna have to go, guys. I'm really sorry, but
Appreciate. No, don't be sorry.
I've got to rush off.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's great, and it's really nice to meet you guys. Like
Russ,
I say,
nice
I
to meet
bought
you.
a book from all of you, so keen to read them.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Russ.
it.
Good
Thank
to
you very
meet you.
much. Good luck on the
And-
campaign.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
Yeah,
This
great.
looks
Thanks
cool
very
as
much,
hell.
guys. I'll see you around.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.
And that's
Only death can
only
save him.
death can
Oh,
save
he did
us.
it. He left right, literally at the second of an hour. So good time.
Yeah, he's got. I know he has
That's what he's
another.
doing.
He's got another stream lined up. We probably won't go for much longer. I promised my wife it wouldn't be a long stream, but
Okay.
but check this out. Yeah, I'm gonna post this. Go ahead, Scott.
Now I was going to give you my non sequitur of the day, Clint. You'd be happy to know. I was just looking for my phone. I'm in my hotel room, and I was looking, and next to the Gideon's New Testament Bible, they have a Book of Mormon in the hotel.
Of course they do. Yeah, where? What
That's what
state are you staying in, or country?
Can
you say?
Yeah.
Texas,
The
okay,
country of Texas.
Is it a Marriott hotel?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. that explains it.
I put that book there. That's what
Yeah,
Clint was
no.
about to say.
the guy that owns it's a member of the church, so they put him in all Marriott hotels. So
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm glad you saw it. I was gonna say read it, check it out, Scott. See what you think, but I won't go there. Appreciate. Yeah, it's a Marriott. Jude says, yeah. Let's
The
see.
Marriott edition. Book of Mormon.
Here, Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I love those 80s Latter-day Saint commercials, the moral commercials.
Isn't it about time?
The Latter-day the Mormons.
Family. Isn't it
The
about
Church of Jesus
time?
Christ, the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons.
Did you ever
feel like-
watch Orgasmo, Clint? Did you ever see
No.
Orgasmo? Okay. So Orgasmo's now on Netflix, and it's by the guys that did South Park. And it's live action, not animation. And it's Trey Parker is a Mormon who is going door to door, and he can fight. And they need a porn movie starring a superhero named Orgasmo needs a guy to come in and take the role when the main guy gets, hurts himself and can't play the role. And so this Latter-day Saint has to play like the lead in a porno. But he's a superhero. He's a badass. He fights people or whatever. And he's got an Orgasmo ray that he shoots people and gives them an orgasm. And it's hilarious. It's brilliant. And yeah, I don't know. You might appreciate some of the Mormon references in there.
Maybe they're ones that they're ones that like wherever I go, people are always like, it's the Mormons. Or I haven't even seen the South Park episode, but they've got a few that they I don't know, I guess because they grew up in Colorado or yeah, I think it was Colorado.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was watching this movie, and I was learning a lot about Mormon lifestyle and all this kind of stuff, only to find out that it was actually like this Mormon fetish porn, and so it was
Yeah, I don't I feel like people either have a perception that it's like the 1800s or it's like the 80s. Like there are only specific snippets of time or culture
right
that people like are associate. Like I get asked about polygamy all the time. Polygamy is so it was like the 1800s when they did that, and it's very like,
what are you talking about? It's not the Mormons that are going to get that put in on the books. It'll be the the woke
yeah,
what is it, the polyamory folks that
it will. Yeah, it will.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was so
Yeah.
popular in Chicago when I left. Like everybody was just in an open thing. And I was just like, stop. I don't want to date. I don't want to date people who are involved. Stop it.
It was
Yeah.
cool. It was cool in the 80s and the 90s when it was just slutty chicks that were involved in that. Now that normal like chicks it's kind of like it's just gross.
Yeah,
He misses the sluts.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with
Girls were
Uh,
sluttier in my day.
Dude, I think young girls are wild now, man. They're just as wild as ever, man.
Dude, I'll be honest.
Donald's a
with
good
you.
sport.
The hookup culture it scares the crap out of me. You know, especially I have 2 daughters, and so it's rough, man.
Watch out.
Yeah, I don't
with
know.
the internet and stuff and FaceTime. Oh my god.
I won't even let my daughters. I told him, I was like, listen, while you live in this house, you will not have social media accounts.
Legit scares me. Some of the stuff like Instagram and I don't know. I've watched probably 1-2 more documentaries about like weirdos on the internet. It kind of scares me to think about my kids getting into the internet. I keep hoping that social media will like die off and just not be cool anymore, you know, by the time they're old enough to like be teenagers or something. Like, you know, it'll be like, we're just going to the soda fountain, dad, like, you know, we're gonna get some ice cream, something like that. That's
we're going to
the
the sock hop,
sure.
dad.
Drive-in movie theaters and yeah.
Hey, drive-in movie theaters are making a comeback.
Yeah, now
they are.
They're everywhere. My local Walmart sent us, I don't know how they got my phone number, but they sent out like a mass text saying, hey, we're doing a movie night down at the Walmart parking lot. They got an inflatable rig set up, I guess, and showing movies. Kind of cool idea, I guess.
Oh, it's really a nice date to take your lady to a drive-in horror movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to talk my wife into going. She's not into horror, but
well, the amazing thing is how many things from that are old are new again. Like, you know, just a couple years ago, for the first time since the early 90s or the late 80s, vinyl albums outsold CDs, you know? And so, like, you know, it's not that and part of it is people aren't buying CDs, but the other part of it is that people are starting to buy vinyl. It's like they want these kind of tangible things, and that kind of goes to part of the, you know, the appeal of Comicsgate. They want these physical books that are collectible, that, you know, that have a tangible quality to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it almost has more to do with culture than with technology, you know. Even with cell phones, for instance, remember they were getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and everybody was saying pretty soon cell phones are going to be tiny. Now cell phones are huge because the screens, you know. I guess that's a technological thing, but it often things will turn in a direction that you're not expecting. Super chat here for $4.99 from Cult of Altus. Thank you very much. It says, chat, don't make the fatal mistake of not checking out the trailer for Inventing Incidents on Indiegogo. Speaking of Fatal, back Fatal right now. Appreciate that. Great segue too. I love, I think it's probably been Cult of Altus a lot, posting in a lot of chats, similar kind of thing with even the Speaking of Fatal. So I appreciate that. That helps spread the word. In fact, why not? It's my stream. Let's look at Fatal. Again, we passed 44,000, which is fantastic. We're in the grindy phase of the campaign, but I think there have been solid numbers. And like I've said before, I've been going on so many other streams and they're helpful, but the more I'm making videos, like say I posted 2 videos or doing live streams here on my own channel, I've noticed that is what really is driving traffic to the campaign. So just for anyone out there, I think that is helpful information. So it's been great. So yeah, if you haven't backed it, check it out. I'm going to post the link in the chat, and I promise you this book is epic. This is going to be one that everyone's going to want to have if you're into crowdfunded comics for sure.
Yeah.
Do it. Get it.
So I think Fatal is what's going to keep me from backing Rags because, you know, I only have so much money and Mama won't let me buy too many comic books.
Yeah. So this is, let's say our last topic. We've been going for an hour and 8 minutes. I wanted to bring up this question, but it seems like there'll be certain phases of the year where I feel like there's too many crowdfunding campaigns that I want. I can't back them all. I've got to be choosy. How many? I don't know that there's a really good answer to this, but this is the answer to the chat as well. But how many campaigns is too many? I think for me personally, if I'm running campaigns, I could never see myself running more than quarterly. Even that seems like an awful lot. Like twice a year seems more like it for me. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think that far ahead. I'm a passionate madman who does what I want, and I make money. I work full time. I've contributed to 81 books. It says here, and I don't feel like it's not about too many for me. It's just about trying to support everyone I can and finding those cool books that I love, because it's just about, I love the indie scene. I love Comicsgate, and I love what we're doing. So like, even if it's a book I'm not totally crazy for, like it could have things, or the creator could have a lot of promise for the future. And I will definitely want to get my support behind that. So yeah, I'm more of a impulse buyer.
When it comes to buying, yeah. So clarify, I don't back 2 per year. I'll have to check actually how many. Doesn't it tell you right here? My contributions. Is this going to dox me?
Probably. Let's see.
You're
it
the
anyway.
West Valley City.
You've already wait a second. You've already been doxxed.
41.
Yeah.
I know. I've been doxxed. Did I tell you how people were posting?
I got doxxed.
Pictures of naked people on my business site.
Me for no good reason.
That was messed up. 41
Gross.
campaigns. You have me beat, Vaughn. But launching campaigns, I think. I don't know. Like it's interesting to see like how many. This is Sci-Fi for Me TV. Says Meyer says he's running no more than 3 at any time. I also think he can probably support more. Do you know what I mean? It's probably going to be different for different creators because he's just got more reach.
Yeah.
That I definitely couldn't do that while working a full-time job. That would drive me crazy.
Oh geez, that'd be hard.
Yeah.
I think all three of us are in the same boat where, this is our passion, but we've got day jobs and probably other things in our life that also take our attention besides this. And, to talk about a lesson, so I have recently learned a lesson that sometimes, life happens and, all of a sudden this campaign that was taking up like 50% of my brain power 2 weeks ago, with the launch of Sidekick Island, it literally went on the back burner this past week because my, real work just blew up. And then on top of that, I'm doing all the stuff for moving to Korea later, I guess actually later this month. And, it's just amazing how you've got all these intentions to promote, every day, every other day on different, channels, but then you can't. And so it's hard when you don't have the predictability, like EBS is a great example. His job is exactly what we see. We see his books and we see his YouTube. That's his job, right? Whereas we can't do that. And so we have to, take that appetite suppression. And I think, Clint, you're probably like me. You'd love to have a book almost constantly out there because you love doing this just like I do. Vaughn, I'm sure you're the same way. I mean, as much as you're helping other people, Vaughn, clearly, you got the passion for this, but it's just tough. I mean, and sometimes, those competing priorities just jump in front of our passion.
You get, I get insurance through my work. I get all these things that are pretty awesome. My job's pretty awesome. But man, if I could be just making comics full time and running campaigns, I would be a happy guy. That's for sure.
Yeah. Charlie, welcome to the stream.
Thank you. I fell asleep reading the Hardy Boys.
Oh,
that's
nice.
The literature that I'm at.
Are you reading the Hardy Boys to your kids, or is that for you, or both?
Well, it is expanding my vocabulary, and it's thrilling. But sometimes, you got to read to the boy loves it. He's 6, and the Tower Heist, was that the one? The Tower something? I can't remember now. I fell asleep.
Oh yeah,
and they're good. They're really good.
Yeah. My son's all into anything sneaky, and so lately I found this. I was doing a little bit of research. I found this YouTube channel, this guy that picks locks, and he shows you all the details about picking locks. And I showed my son because I was like, this is kind of cool, huh? So I showed him, and now he wants a lock picking set. He wants to start picking locks. And I'm like, let me think about how this could go wrong. Let me count the ways. But I have to say though, it's cool though. Like I would totally think that's cool when I was his age. But yeah, all that kind of stuff. I don't know, mysteries and I don't know. It's fun.
Picking locks goes up there with life skills that as a dude you wish you had, which goes along with you want to be able to play pool, you want to know some kung fu, you want to be able to dive off a boat with a knife in your teeth. That
You
seems
want those
important.
ninja boots and gloves with the spikes on them so you can climb shit.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Just certain dude skills that you just
Yeah.
need.
A pair of nunchucks, definitely a pair of nunchucks.
You gotta
Yeah.
break
Fair.
into a car. That's like really practical. You're lock your keys out and you gotta break in. Like that's the only way
Yeah.
you're gonna get in, you know. You don't want to call the police. That's not the dude way, you know.
break into vaults. Yeah, your son's on the right path.
Can
Someone's
I
gotta do it. Yeah.
talk about dudes? Hey, talk about dude stuff. Can I give you guys a piece of heartbreak that I just learned? So I was going through my backpack
That's
here, and I've got my original Gerber multi-tool that I got on my first tour to Iraq, the Army issued one, right? And this is like my kind of carry in my car all the time, survival tool, right? But I am dropping my car off in Dallas, and I have to fly back to El Paso, and I don't know how to get it back. I think I'm going to have to, nice hair, yeah.
That's not comb.
I don't know how I'm going to get this sucker back home, man, because I can't fly it back home. So
Yeah.
bummed.
Oh,
Oh.
sucks. They took my multi-tool after 9/11. I forgot it was in my bag, and they looked really sorry about it because they understood how they were probably thinking, like, man, I'd hate to give up my multi-tool. Like,
Well, the only thing I can think that I might be able to use as an excuse is the saw. It doesn't have a knife in it, but it had a saw blade, and the saw blade actually broke at the root of the blade, and so it doesn't have like a blade in it.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Knives. How to sneak knives on
If
airplanes.
it did, it would be fatal. Oh yeah, actually, they took my
Yeah.
multi-tool, but I forgot there were other like knives and stuff in my backpack that they totally missed and like made it on the flight with me.
Ooh.
And when I landed and got home, I found those and was like, "Whoops!"
Yeah, they
Oh.
Maybe I can
Yeah.
nail it.
The last time I went flying, they searched me both ways. Like round trip, I got stopped and searched. Yeah. Oh my. I didn't think about that. They were really, really looking in there. But it was like
They
Wait,
saw
what?
you coming a mile away, Clint.
I was there for work. I was giving a presentation and I brought a whole bunch of these handouts that were kind of on glossy paper, and they're in the handout. I was giving some instruction and I had them, going to and from in my bag, and they're like testing them with like little strips of something. Like they were trying to see if there was residue. Like what could it possibly, you can flip through the pages of like, what could it possibly be? It didn't make any sense to me, but they stopped me both ways. So I think that there must have been something with the X-ray machine or something that worked weird. I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me, but
I have a question for the chat. Does anybody in the chat here in Dallas, Texas?
Dallas, shout out. While they're registering their downcast Fatal is at 608 backers. The road to 1,000 backers is
You're
like
at
less-
806
Yeah,
backers.
yeah, you're backwards, dude.
Did I say
Dyslexia,
something?
Clint.
Did I
You
say
said
something?
608. You went.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you
You're
just
like
stopped my
slick.
heart.
I actually do have a problem with inverting numbers. That's real.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
I
you
got-
can make fun of it though. Please do.
So you're like a number
It's
retard.
not that big of a
There's a word for it, but I can't remember what it is. it doesn't count. It doesn't get you out of math classes, but
bummer.
so
you're dyslexic only when it comes to numbers.
To numbers, not all that. It's not that bad, but it happens sometimes. So
Okay.
Yeah, my wife teases me about it. We have 806 backers. 800.
6 backers. That's amazing. You guys are
than 200.
Just destroying.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. This is great.
Doing very, very well. And I think again, like I just got to stay up on daily videos and doing live streams and stuff too. So I think we'll keep climbing there. It'd be really cool to see 1,000 backers. That would be a new high for me. Personal best. That'd be great.
Yeah, that was a big deal when we hit 1,000 backers for Peregrine. That was a pretty big moment.
Yeah, it is. It's I don't know. That's the coveted. I've gotten close, but not close enough. So,
well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The backer number was the bigger thing for me than the money number. I mean, granted, the money's going in our pockets, but the backer, like knowing 1,000 people, directly supported your thing. That's pretty cool.
It is. It's a big deal too for future things. You know what I mean? Future endeavors. It's important. So, yeah, I'm.
Were you making videos today, Clint? I was actually out of the house all day.
Yeah, I posted 2 today. One didn't do so well, so I was like, I'll do another one. The second one's doing good. So,
nice. What were the 2 topics, and what's the difference? Why?
Clint's subscription service.
No, that's not. I got to watch that stream now from the beginning and find out where that started. But the first one was Jim Lee has officially, they've announced a new person in charge, and he's basically in charge of everything. So I'm not sure what Jim Lee's in charge of anymore.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. The second video is this campaign we talked about a little bit, but this is Keanu Reeves.
What?
He's got a campaign. He's the creator. Look, and you just see the numbers jumping up on this thing. This is day 1.
What?
This is gonna make $1 million.
I want to grab it. 3 big fat books for $50. That's a good
and you
price.
can't even say this is front loaded either, because I'll be honest with you, I had no idea about it until I just heard about it today on your show.
Yeah, well, I think, it's gonna keep going.
He was making it. I did not know there was a campaign coming.
Yeah, I fans only subscription. This is how rumors begin. I might as well just go ahead and spread it out, everybody.
That's the grift right there. That is the grift. No, you got nothing to show for an OnlyFans unless
what he was talking about.
You got some. You got something we don't know about.
That's what it is. Yeah, I don't know though. I kind of like, as opposed to a subscription, this is kind of a subscription, but it would be kind of sweet to have pay more and just get a bigger book. I don't know. Vaughn, you already did such a big book though. What's Monster MD ending up being page wise?
128 pages.
Whew.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That is a biggins. Yeah, man. I want to give you the full meal, like get you addicted. And I just like it. When I crowdfund books, I'm more excited when it's just that juicy, full, like beginning, middle, end, tail, and hopefully more stuff will happen later if the universe is all set up right. So
I like that a lot. I want to move that direction, I think.
But it does take a while. You gotta, it's just a lot of time with your team making it happen, and the commitments, and for a whole team to pull that off, whew, it's tough.
Yeah. And then you got people whining, where's my book? You were smart though. Like, I mean, you communicate with people, but you didn't put the problem is when you put a deadline out there, it's like so much can happen. But if you're working toward it and you're getting the updates out, and not spending the money on yachts or whatever. I don't know. But people are spending money on
Vaughn yacht.
Yeah.
He's gonna just go out there and get the Vaughn yacht.
Yeah.
Kareem says that Berserker just beat Cash Grab.
Wow.
Day 1.
If if Cecil was smart, he would have become a big famous movie star first. Then he could have done the real cash grab.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's really cool to see Keanu getting into comics, and he's got such a following of just people that adore him. Like, what could go wrong? You know what I mean with this book?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if anything, when you see these images, you're like, I could see the movie on the way after this book is a hit. You know?
Well, and the other thing too is a lot of the things that he does are genre type things. So there's a lot of crossover folks that watch genre films, but also used to read comics or still do read comics, or
why Kickstarter? Yeah, this is the thing, is there's so many people that are just furious that this is even happening. So many passive aggressive comments on Twitter. Yeah, my video is about, but they're like, why would you need Kickstarter if you've got a big company and a big celebrity? It's like, why wouldn't you use a crowdfunding? Why would you not?
Okay, let's do that. Let's do the big company route. Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Got to pay the celebrity. Got to pay for the advertising. Got to pay, pay to make the book happen. And right at that point, you still have no money coming in yet. You're just going to put it on the shelves in an era when not as many people are going out, not as many people are hitting up the comic book shops, and hope that it does well. Or you're going to put it on the internet, which is going to blow everyone's mind and get them excited and get them coming to check it out and handing you their money.
Well, so the growth of these sales numbers being out in the open create their own kind of heat that that you could never generate with something that just shows up in Barnes and Nobles one day.
We're talking, I rarely ever talk about Kickstarter campaigns. We're talking about it here. Everybody's talking about it because
Todd McFarlane was the last time anybody really talked about Kickstarter.
Yeah, because now it's newsworthy. Now it's like demonstrating in a very public way that they're crushing, curb stomping regular comics. You know? So of course, more companies are going to do just this. The day will come that Marvel and DC will do this. I would bet money. I don't know when it'll come.
That doesn't sound like a prediction, Clint. That sounds like a prophecy.
It probably is.
The day will come.
It probably is, because I've already seen all this with board games. Like we already discussed earlier, they're all doing it too. Because why would you not? It just makes sense, especially if you can deliver too. And I think it's a good thing overall.
And I would be really surprised if this wasn't an exclusive version that would be different than whatever ends up showing up in, Barnes and Noble or whatever.
They have a Kickstarter edition on this campaign, I saw.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a great idea. I think that's good. Yeah, you're getting something different. You're getting something special. $50 for 3 books, whatever, 300 and something pages worth of material, 384 pages. Yeah, that's a good deal. But $50,000, if they made $50,000 on it, they're not going to make money. They're going to lose money at that.
Back in the 90s, there was a flash game on the internet called Berserker about school shooting. Like you went postal and you had to shoot up your school. But because it was a flash game, nobody knew about it.
Interesting. Well, yeah. So that was the news today. I know Charlie just got on here, but I kind of have to get off and end the stream. So apologies for that. But I do appreciate everyone coming on to watch the stream, watch us just talk about what's going on. Appreciate everyone that's backed Fatal and gotten us over 800 backers and $44,000. We're going to keep pushing, and we're really not that far away from hitting that $50,000 stretch goal, so that everyone gets the fold out poster.
Yeah.
Sidekick Island. Well, let's do the rounds here. Scott, why don't you give us a commercial for Sidekick Island?
Yep, it's a bloody superhero sidekick satire where it's Hunger Games meets Battle Royale, where 44 sidekicks enter and only one can survive. And we really kind of take the piss out of both classic old school sidekicks, but also the the new safe spaces and Miss Marvels of the world. So yeah, definitely check it out. The art's amazing. If we don't fund, then you're not gonna get to see any more art. So help us out and jump on. You're definitely not gonna regret it. This is gonna be a real fun book.
It looks
Very
fun.
cool.
Looks real cool.
Do check that out. There's Only Death Can Save Us. This was from Russ. He was on earlier, had to leave a little early, but seriously, I think this is
Book looks really good.
Great one to support. Yeah, really, really good guy too. I really like Russ. He's the black belt, comics black belt. I think I went on his stream on Saturday. It was really cool to talk to him, and he's a fantastic professional artist. This was an all ages book, and so
real Jim
really
Starlin kind of feel to it.
It's very like classic,
Yeah.
just
Bronze,
yeah,
man.
fun
Bronze.
stuff.
Super clean. Yeah, I love the layout. It really looks like a book from the 80s or,
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really cool. So do check that out for sure. I'm interested to see where his campaign ends up. I'm going to refresh it just because he's not here, but we'll see. Hey, he got picked up another backer. That's awesome.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, so do check that out. Couple others. I mean, I was just looking at campaigns. I'm not really necessarily promoting everything, but I mean, back what you're interested in. But Prospectors is here. Matthew Fowler, we need to have you on the stream, and you can tell us about it. I think that would be great. I'm sure we could arrange something. I think I'm streaming somewhere tomorrow night. I can't remember, but I'll get that worked out. I think tomorrow and Thursday or one or the other. But if I'm not streaming elsewhere, I'll stream here and I'll try to get more people in just because it's fun. So check out Prospectors. This looks really, really good. I already know that Matthew's a really good writer. I enjoy his stories from what I've read so far. This one looks fun. In fact, I even promoted this. We had to add in Downcast 1 of the Prospectors. So that's how much I like it. Jason Brubaker, he's just a cool guy. We've streamed sort of cross streams a few times, and he's got a book out now, Phobos, on Indiegogo. So I'm kind of interested in this as well. I think he said all ages too.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of a fun old like
Whoa.
monster
with some 3D stuff
Oh, it's very cool.
in a cool way.
Yeah, and Jason's a cool guy. I really like Jason Brubaker. He's been a great help to me in promoting my stuff, so I want to help him as well.
Is he the one that did the big box set of his old books and did really well?
Sithra,
Okay.
yeah.
Sithra, yeah, he was a nice guy. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I like him quite a bit. He's one of those guys, he just kind of keeps his head down and he's just doing his thing. He's done this for a long time, too. He's got a really great blog that has a lot of really good information on it, so... All right, so cool. Appreciate everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. Oh, Vaughn, sorry, I can't forget.
What?
Tell we didn't have you promote your thing.
My thing? You want to see my thing?
Well,
okay,
Rose, Clint.
here you go.
Just a little.
Here you go. I shaved it this morning. So here's the thing. It's Monster MD, guys. You all know it. You love it. Some of the best art and storytelling around every page is a work of art. It's got horror, it's got comedy, it's got romance. It kind of has it all. It's got monsters. So check out Monster MD on Indiegogo, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for all your support because we broke 85K recently, and we're going to print very soon. And I'm so excited, guys. And I will announce, I can't say exactly what's going on, but there is something very big going on behind the scenes with Monster MD right now that is going to blow minds. So stay tuned.
Sweet. Looking forward to it.
I worked on it all day today. It's really cool.
Nice. Well, now I want to know what it is. But we'll end the stream. Thanks, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you.